Hi, my name's Nicole Norris. I'm an independent consultant with close to my heart. Now we all know that paper flowers are all the rage when it comes to paper crafting, but sometimes on our scrapbook layouts we don't like the really thick flowers. So I'm going to show you how to make a very cute flower that isn't near as bulky as some of the other paper flowers out there. Are you ready to get started? Let's get started making our pinwheel flower. The first step is to take two strips that are 12 inches long and 1 inch wide. And you're going to go ahead and tear the strips. This one's already torn, so I'm just going to tear this second strip. I'm going to tear towards myself, and that is so that the white shows like this one does. I want them to, of course, match. The trick with tearing is not to care. Just go ahead and tear right down. There's no right or wrong way. It doesn't need to be consistent or perfect. It's just supposed to look torn. The next step is you're going to need to punch a circle out of cardstock. Now this is going to be the base of our flower that we're actually going to glue the paper onto. I'm going to use the 1 1/4 inch circle round punch that Close to My Heart makes. Now if you wanted a bigger flower, you could do a bigger circle on the back here. So here's our circle. And now we're going to cover the circle with adhesive. I'm going to use the Tombow Mono Adhesive Permanent. It is my glue of choice. So once that's all covered, you can see it sticks to me really nicely. And now we're ready to start making our flower. You're just going to start adding your paper to the outside edge of the circle. And as you work your way around the circle, go ahead and accordion fold the paper so that it follows the curvature of the circle. Now another variation to this flower is you could of course sponge the edges of your paper if you wanted to, and that would look cute. I want the white to show on this particular project, and so I'm not going to sponge it. Our paper is double-sided, so the back, which happens to be the sweet leaf color, does show just a little bit, but that's just fine. It just adds to the flower. Now once you've made it around the first time, you have two choices depending on kind of the style of the flower you want. You could actually kind of line up the circle and then start a new ring around that's on the inside of your first circle, and it would kind of make a more layered circles, rings. Or you could go more of the spiral, which is what I did on this one, where you start out and it's wider and then it spirals in. And either way looks great, it's just personal preference. So on this one I'm going to actually just kind of spiral in. So my second layer round is going to just sit in farther in than the first layer. It's still going to be glued down with that, touching the edge of the circle to glue it down. Now once you finish your first strip, go ahead and tack that down. If you need to add a little more adhesive to hold it, you can. And then grab your second strip. Now I fold over the edge of my second strip so that when I stick it on here, it looks like it began right where the last one left off. And then put just a little bit of Tombow adhesive on the back there to hold it on securely. Now if the width of the end of the first strip, the width doesn't match the width of the second strip, you can kind of tear the second strip so that it matches, because we don't want it to really be noticeable where that second strip starts. And then continue your accordion fold around. Now once you've kind of reached the center, I've gone around about 3 times. You're just going to tear off the excess. And I'm going to fold that over. And then if it's not sticking, add a little more adhesive. You can never have too much glue. Okay, now we have our flower made. We just need to add our center. And so for the center, I'm just going to poke a hole. And I'm going to be using some of our shimmer brads that I absolutely love. I'm going to poke about 2 or 3 holes because the back of the brad has a little bit wider piece and it'll make it easier to slip in there. Now if you don't want to use brads, you could use a button, you could just use regular brads, whatever you want to really finish off the center. And there we go. There's our little pinwheel flower. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.